All right, so we get the minutes from December 14th. If you guys have had a chance to look at them that Amy sent out. And if there's no issues, I'd entertain a motion to accept.
Make a motion that we accept the minutes from the last meeting as correct.
Seconded.
All right, motion by Ken, seconded by Dave. We'll take a vote. Ken?
Yes.
Dave?
Yes.
Yes. And I'm a yes. We got some water and sewer abatement. 48 Hog Memorial, we're abating 4309 in interest for water, 9442 in interest for sewer. Fiscal year 22 real estate lien.
Do you hear it?
So
Do you hear
this-
it? Okay. Yep.
So I'm not on. Put your last right.
I don't think
Let's
so.
see.
Swipe. There you go. Yeah, there you go. Swipe. Is that you? Does it say Robert?
Did someone else just join?
Yeah, who's on the iPhone?
How do I speak?
Who?
I know.
You just-
Stop video. You're on.
Who just joined?
Video. Okay.
Hello, it's Bob Trumbull.
Hi, Bob.
All right, I'll mute myself.
Okay, thank you.
Do this.
You hear me, Kevin?
Yes.
So the 48 Hope Memorial, that's the one we discussed at last meeting. This is just the paperwork.
Okay. All right, so I'll take a motion to accept the abatement as written.
I'll make a motion that we accept the abatements as written.
I just have a question on that abatement. The last meeting, we said it was only 129.49.
That's the additional interest from that time.
It is, okay, no problem. All right, I'll second what Dave said then.
Okay, motion and second. All in favor, Ken,
Yes,
Dave,
Yes.
and I'm a yes. Okay. We got some trash abatements. We'll just kind of go through them all real quick here. 20 Cottage Street's a senior discount. 344 Commercial Street, houses under construction, so they've not had barrels. 280 Washington Street, senior discount. 555 Harvard Street, coded incorrectly as a single family, not a two family. Or sounds like it was billed as a two family and it's only a senior plus a single family plus a senior discount. 6 Old Colony Way, coded incorrectly. 379 Franklin Street, senior discount. 611 Plymouth Street was vacant. So total trash abatements of $1,047.50.
I make a motion that we accept the abatements as read.
Dave, you mute.
Sorry about seconded.
There you go.
All in favor?
Aye.
Ken, Dave,
Yes.
I'm a yes. Okay. Just a question on the senior discounts. Are these new senior discounts or are we still, or is the system any better that, you know, we're copying from period to period, or any info on that? Maybe Amy?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, so I guess that's the end of the senior discounts. On the form that they fill out, it gives till like the middle of January to apply for them. But Lonnie said that this would be the end of the senior discounts for this fiscal year.
Okay. Thank you. And that list is now going to be maintained from period to period and should only be, you know, people that have recently applied for it. Is that the hope?
Correct, yeah, so it should automatically go on to next year's trash billing if they've previously gotten a senior discount. We did run into a couple this past billing cycle that had gotten them in, last year, that didn't receive them for whatever reason, so they had to be put back in.
Yeah, I mean, there'll always be a few. I'm just trying to put out. What's this last one here? This is an abatement.
So, yeah, that's an abatement. I guess it went to the real estate tax lien, from what I understand. Bruce, did Lonnie tell you any more on that one?
Can you hear me? No, all I know is that this went to tax lien by mistake and through Mary Beth's office, and it's just it says here to correct duplicate abatements for 2000 for FY21.
All right, so it's a water and sewer abatement. 143 Washington Terrace, the amount of $295.
Do we want to hold on that till we get a clarification, or?
Trash bill abatement.
Oh, I'm sorry, trash.
That's for 143 Washington Terrace?
Correct.
Yes, trash, sorry.
And
So
that's,
trash abatement went to lien by accident.
oh, okay, all right. I make a motion that we accept it as read.
You know what? I'm sorry. You guys are gonna kill me. I have to back up. On 611 Plymouth Street, was that trash totes too? Now looking at that closer,
Yes.
and sewer.
No, those are all trash, the previous 5 or 6. My apology. I
Okay, yeah, she's got a line in, yeah, starting at 20 Cottage Street, that became.
yeah, Cottage Street down to Plymouth Street was what we just voted on. That was the total $1,047.50.
And I'm sorry, I'll come back to 143, but so 611, just saying with the owner deceased, just curious, it looks like we're crediting the whole year for trash. I'm not sure.
They've had no toters at that residence. The toters got taken away. The owner was deceased and the house has been vacant, so they've had no trash toters all year.
Okay. That explains. All right.
Because
Yeah,
we kind
I
of,
think I know the house, that's why I'm thinking about it. It's probably fine.
Yeah, the house was vacant. They started to do some renovations there. We had taken the carts back. I think after the owner had passed away and before they even attempted renovations, and it's still vacant, I'm pretty sure. So that's the reason.
Right, so when a new owner moves in, they have to get their own new cans. That's okay.
right.
I believe they were
They'll
using a
get-
dumpster. I think you're correct. Yep.
Yeah, then Bruce, my understanding, they'll get a appropriate trash bill for 6 months, 8 months, 6 months or 12 months, depending on
Correct.
when they take possession. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough. I'm sorry, so going back to your motion, Ken, on,
So 143 Washington Terrace, the trash abatement, $295. Sounds like it was put into real estate lien by error, and we're just abating that amount.
correct, so I second.
All in favor? Ken,
Yes,
Dave,
Yes,
and I am a yes. Nice light agenda today. Superintendent's reports. Who wants to go first? It doesn't matter to me. Bruce?
I'll go. I'll be brief. So we had our first snowplow event Friday. I think officially we're down for 8 inches of snow. I think we fared well. I was a little nervous rolling up to our first storm because we have less contract this year, but even with the less contractors, and we had, a couple guys out vacation or other, and I think we fared well, and I'm gonna be adding 2 more pieces from contractors going into the rest of the winter, and I think we should be good moving forward. So it was a good first run, 8 inches, run of the mill snowstorm, not too bad, and things went well without any major breakdowns. So moving to major breakdowns before the storm, I think I had briefed Kevin a little bit about our front end loader. So we have a 1996 Cat loader, 938, and about a month ago, I think it's been now, we were pushing salt into the salt shed, and the transmission failed and just won't go into gear, forward, reverse. Machine still runs well, hydraulics work good, just won't go forward or reverse. Brought in a mechanic, I thought did a really good job troubleshooting, researching, doing everything he could to figure out what was wrong with the transmission. Then we brought in a Cat tech from Milton Cat, and he came down, pretty much did the same stuff our mechanic did, came to the conclusion that it needs a new transmission. You don't get new transmissions, they pull that transmission out and they rebuild it, which entails taking the cab off the top of the machine, and it's a major undertaking to the tune of, the estimate I got is right around $22,000. So kind of a rock and a hard place. The machine's value is roughly moving forward and backwards around $30,000 approximately retail. And but it really has no value, not much value the way it was. So we bit the bullet and we put it on a flatbed and we shipped it up to Milton Cat, and they're gonna do the work. And we're gonna try to pay for that work half out of snow and ice and half out of my budget, and it's just gonna be probably one of my tighter budget years since I've had this job. So we'll get the machine back, and that being said, I took the liberty of submitting an article at town meeting for a new machine. And after discussing it with Dennis, the idea was to submit an article for a new machine. With the funding source being 33% Chapter 90 funds, 33% water, and 33% sewer. We go back and we look at where we funded these machines in the past, and they've always come out of highway Chapter 90 funds. And so it seemed to make sense to Dennis and I that we go ahead and purchase a machine, a loader out of, with the help of some water and sewer funds this time around. And that goes back past 96 as far as purchasing, the loaders we have now and the back. So a new loader is $214,000. With a power angle plow and a regular bucket. So that's where we stand. The machine was supposed to be up there 2 weeks. 2 weeks would be the end of this week. So I think that was best case scenario. I'm thinking it's going to be a little longer than that by the time we get it back, because the cab was kind of in rough shape. So that's about it as far as the front end loader and the operations update for me.
Okay. I think Paul's iPhone, is that you, Paul Lucas?
Yes, it is. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good, thank you. Sorry,
okay.
I'm a little bit behind on time here. I
No, we actually, we
haven't
weren't
haven't
scheduled
done the
until-
Zoom thing before, so I'm trying to figure the whole thing out.
Yeah, we weren't scheduled till 6:30 for the
Oh, okay.
executive session. So we just got a few, if you just want to mute and kind of, you know, whatever you want to do. We had a few little things to take care of, but we'll go into
Yeah, that's fine.
executive session at 6:30.
Okay, all right.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Dennis, you want
Yeah,
Had a,
okay, so,
to, exciting, actually, I guess just back on, I'm sorry, Dennis. Bruce, I agree. Nice job by the crews and the guys. You know, first storm, I think was a little more than like some expected. I know they were talking a little less than that, but you know, roads are clear, roads are passable.
Yep, agreed.
Yes.
Nice job by, I think Bobby's on, Bobby, Dave, and the crews. Well appreciated.
Yes.
Dennis, sorry, didn't mean to cut you off there, but what do you got?
that's fine. So I got a call from Paul Gunning from Master Meter. Earlier this week, I'm gonna meet with him on Thursday. But our contract is approaching the end of its time limit, and we need to go ahead and probably finish our purchase. I know that you know, we've been spreading the purchases out as we needed the meters because when we should receive them, that begins the warranty period. But they're going to have Master Meter will have a price increase after March. So I think we should probably just, you know, we're well over half of what we were going to purchase anyways. So we just go ahead and finish purchasing the remaining meters out of the contract, so we can don't have to experience the price increase. And then the only other is the articles, you know, that Bruce was describing with the machine. I've sent you guys a couple of emails about, you know, buying a new work truck or ordering a new work truck, and, you know, what it should be. And I think everybody's agreement, it should be a little bit more of a heavy duty truck with the onboard compressor and a inverter, provide electricity. If we get the funding in next spring and we order it, you're probably, you know, looking at least a year before you see it. So it's almost a 2-year period from now. So I believe that, you know, we should go ahead and start the process for that now. And then also the other thing would be another tow behind generator to replace not to add to the existing two that we have. They're older. One's a 96, the other one's a 2004. And just having a backup, I think, would be wise. So those would be the two articles that I can think of right now.
We agree, Dennis.
Yeah, I think, you know, the fleet, as it gets older, we have to replace it, you know, and getting something that's gonna be more versatile and, you know, really the truck is it's gonna replace a truck and a compressor and light tower and, you know, yeah, it's gonna be a large expense, but it's gonna help us, you know, get the fleet a little newer and also, you know, help out with some of the work. So I'm all for that. I guess you glanced right over your major water break. I guess kind of the same thing. Kudos to
Yeah,
the crews. That was a pretty severe, with the pictures I saw, pretty major water break. You know, certainly, you know, I was getting text messages and saw it on Facebook that there was a short disruption to the whole town, but we're able to get it shut down, so that's good. And get it repaired. You were able to get the street patched back and all that and paved back. I went by that night, and I know you know, just kind of closed it up, but is that all kind of at least temporarily paved for the winter?
Not yet, but it's coming.
Okay. Yeah, and I know you said it affected one of the local residents. I think we'll have to, you know, we'll deal with that in the spring. There's nothing we're gonna do permanent in the middle of January, as far as fixing driveways and things like that. I think we just get it to a manageable point. There was a neighbor's pretty much brand new driveway that they did this summer that had some damage, so we'll have to, make that passable for the winter, and then, when springtime, better weather comes, look at, putting that back in goes in. But
Yeah. I was gonna ask, can I ask, talk a little bit about the line on that road? I thought it was fairly new. I mean, the pipe actually looked pretty decent except for the crack. And the 12-inch, it ran about 20 feet. So, yeah, that was a monster to get out. But, I mean, so, yeah, because we had done it not too long ago. How old is it, Dennis?
The commercial street's got the original, most of it has the original 10-inch transite main. That there's a short section there for whatever reason at the, at the time when they did this, they put in about approximately 3 lengths of cast iron, 12-inch cement line cast iron pipe there. And then it goes back to AC. And we have, over the years, experienced, I'd say somewhere around 4 to 5 breaks there now, between, Washington Street and South Ave. And, it's not quite as needy as Beaver Street, but it's probably not far behind it.
Okay, then I was misinformed. I must have been thinking of another road. Yeah, the AC, yeah, it should be on our list for future projects. Absolutely.
The shame about that is that the road was, repaved, one of the, a few years back, and it's experienced at least 3 breaks since then. That there are now patches, and it's kind of a shame that it ruined what was a fairly good road.
Right. Well, it is what it is. All right, then I did want to ask if sewer still. When I was in, I signed bills, Amy, but there was a cat repair. Was that for a generator, or was that part of that cab you were talking about?
So I think the bill you're referring to, Dave, is our 1995 GMC dump truck, which is a solid truck still. It's, despite its age, it's done well. We put a new body on it a few years back, but anyway, that needed a major part. In the engine on that is a Caterpillar engine. So I think that's the bill that you signed today. That was
Okay.
a major part in that. It was a fuel pump.
Okay, yeah, that's something I thought I saw a core for the yeah, it was not part of something like that. Yep. All right. No, thank you. I just wasn't sure if it was one of the generators. Okay. I'm all set. Thank you.
If that particular bill was not for a generator, but we did have the kettle light gone through last week by S&H over in Hanover, and it was all load tested and serviced there, and so we're going to send out the other tow behind over there as soon as they get room over that they can fit it into their schedule.
Okay. All right. Thanks. Yeah, I just want to keep those rolling too. I know you put in some articles, but that's fine.
Right. Yep. We still need them.
Yep. Very good. Very good.
Okay. Anything else? The superintendents or new business? We still got a couple minutes before the executive session.
I would, I did kind of gloss over the water break on Commercial Street, and I'd like to say that, the guys did a great job with it. They, it was a long night up there. They didn't get out until early morning. I was believe it's right around 4 o'clock. And it was a little on the cool side too. Not as bad as it is tonight, but it wasn't warm.
The only break in the winter, right, Dennis? Dave?
That's right.
Yeah, that's when all the water breaks out. In the cold.
Break in July.
Yeah. Very few.
There's a big one in Boston today. Good luck to them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still working.
Just a new question, or in case I missed it, follow up on the DPW building. Was that first meeting scheduled or waylaid?
So we can talk a little bit now. If we run out of time, we can go back into it. So the selectmen have not appointed the members yet. I think they were on the agenda for the last meeting, and they had some other things. Or I think there was also Lincoln's going to develop a mission statement for the committee. I spoke with Lincoln last week, and kind of him and I threw around some ideas of what we want that mission statement to be. I know they're meeting tonight. I think it's on their agenda. And the hope was to, I don't know if they're gonna act on it. They had 5 or 6 people apply for the at-large positions. Last I spoke with him. So, so obviously, I'm not sure. And obviously with COVID and all that, how they're going to act on that. They have, I don't know if scheduled a town meeting. Was it the 31st?
First, is it?
The 31st of the 1st, I think, kind of. And again, obviously with, as we're meeting here on Zoom, I think they're still looking for some information on what we can do, where we can do it, and if we can get 150 people together. It's a small warrant. Most of it is, the biggest item obviously is our the $1.1 million to start. So the committee probably won't meet before then, or if it will, it'll be right before it, or but that's kind of where it's at. So they have they just have to select out of that 5 or 6 people that applied for the at-large for the 4 open positions. So I believe I did see it on the selectmen's agenda for tonight. So
Good.
I'll follow up with Lincoln later in the week to see what transpired. So. All right, so we're at 6:30. And we need to go into an executive session to discuss the reputation, character, physical condition, or mental health rather than professional competence of an individual, or to discuss the discipline or dismissal of or complaints or charges brought against a public officer, employee, staff member, or individual. So I'm looking for a motion to enter into executive session.
Make a motion, we enter into executive session.
Second. Dave, you're mute.
Is that a second,
All
Dave?
right, seconded.
All right, and roll call vote. Ken,
I'll leave it open.
Yeah.
Dave,
Yes.
and I am a yes. All right, so we're back in open session. Yeah, so we're talking a little bit about building committee. I think DPW building, I don't think there's anything really new, like I said before. Hopefully we can get the committee together and, kind of pending the town meeting, winter, if that can happen, and we'll move forward with that timeline. I think as a building committee, I think I'll still push to try to meet, even if town meeting gets pushed off, the committee, I would assume, can meet via Zoom or something like that. So at least we can start that process of, getting a owner's rep, getting some requests for qualifications, things like that out there. So it's moving. Some other things, old business, shared streets. Bruce, where we at with the design for the center?
The design is completed. I haven't received a paper copy of it yet, but they've made the necessary adjustments for the fire engine to go through. They just moved it a little bit. I think the design is complete, but again, I haven't received the actual paper. And then we can, I'm gonna double check, as far as reusing Rochester. I just wanna, because now that we have time, if we need to put it out to bid, but I don't, like I said, they told us via email, and I have that we didn't need to, we could use them. So if that's the case, we'll schedule it for the spring with Rochester.
Yeah, I think we get the plans from environmental partners. Certainly we can review it and look at it, and then as soon as we're comfortable, you're comfortable, get it to Rochester so they can price it up,
Right.
or apply the units, and that way we know the full value and all that, and they're ready to go.
Right.
What was your final decision on the crosswalks? What were you gonna do? Or do you know yet?
We're not sure. We're not sure yet.
Okay.
I want to look at different treatments. I want to look into more what Marshfield has done, but it may end up being more of a textured paint look. I think that's more what you are in favor of, and then still milling, 75 to 100 feet in each direction to correct the road. That will, we're gonna obviously have to use some Chapter 90 money to do that. So.
Okay.
Ken, that chuckle is about Auburn Street, I think.
Yeah. You heard me, huh?
The plan would still be for next year's Chapter 90 to be, Auburn from school to Washington. And I think the key is to get to still get that monies from the town meeting for road work. And that would certainly go a long way to doing both those things.
All right.
And the other thing is the front end loader, the 33% coming out for the front end loader. But we're running that's a 90, even if we get that thing back with a new transmission, it's still a 1996. The other one's an 03, I believe.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Sewer force main. So Naughton should have received their notice to proceed. So they are on the clock. Was it this past Monday, Dennis, or the Monday before?
I delivered the paperwork to Colin down to Bridgewater, his yard on last Friday.
Okay. So he's on the clock. I guess, Dennis, any potential pre-construction meeting or kickoff meeting or anything like that, or?
I know Ziad wants to have one. It has not been scheduled yet.
Okay. All right. Yeah, keep the board in the loop. That's something I would like to attend if I'm able to. Certainly anyone else, if they want to, is welcome. I'd like this. See what their thoughts are. I know in talking with Ziad, they did want to work this winter in the, through the landfill and,
I
off the road.
talked with one of their foremen when I dropped the paperwork off, and they're finishing up over in Stoughton. But they, you know, he figured they're gonna start, you know, pretty quick, I guess. Or at least getting, you know, they've, start getting things arranged so that they can get going.
It'd be nice if you're talking to Ziad, maybe starting for the next meeting. Whoever, and I'm drawing a blank, is it Andrew? Who's, from Environmental Partners that's kind of spearheading the project?
Andrew Grana is one of the, yes, one of the guys from environmental.
I don't know if he's gonna be kind of the lead. Can he prepare like a monthly summary that can be presented? He doesn't have to attend the meeting, but just a summary for the board for each meeting. You know, nothing fancy, couple, you know, paragraph or two, schedule, submittals, progress, issues, you know, just some little monthly summary report that can just be given to the board at each meeting. If you could talk to him about that.
Okay, some kind of.
Like I said,
more or less progress.
I'm not looking for in person. It can be just kind of written and handed to us
Right.
as part of the
So
minutes, or,
kind of a-
you know.
Kind of a progress report on a monthly
Yeah.
basis.
Yeah, monthly progress
Yep.
report, kind of hitting the main, you know, are there any issues the last month? Are we still on schedule? You know, what's the upcoming work? You know, certainly the first couple months aren't going to be too much, but when we start getting into, you know, March, April, May, when they start hitting it hard on the streets, and, you know, I would suspect there'll be, you know, weekly, bi-weekly construction meetings, but obviously, you know, most, if not all, the board members probably wouldn't be able to attend those. So I think this would be a good way for us to kind of just keep an idea of what's going on. It's a major project. And, you know, you yourself, Dennis, I would certainly encourage to attend those, whether they're going to be bi-weekly or weekly, you know, scheduled progress meetings with the contractor. But talk to environmental partners, have them put something together. That'd be cool, I think.
I will talk to them and see what they can come up with.
You get any other status, anything else on the force main you want to talk about, or any updates, or?
Just the only other thing that's going on is the loan, you know, the bond council and the demands they have to, you know, basically ensure that we're capable of borrowing the money. It's just the process that, you know, we had to go through this before on other things. If I had the actual numbers that were the town's going to apply from ARPA, it would make a difference. I might have to just for the beginning, you know, submit that we're not going to use any ARPA money, just so we can, you know, demonstrate that we can make the payments based on that. Some point, you know, we'll have to discuss when we're going to implement another, if we need to implement another rate increase. We have to basically come up, provide proof that we can fund this, that we can pay the loan back, and how we're going to do it.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's going to be tough to nail down how much ARPA. Again,
I mean,
I know they're still doing clinics. They did you know, they gave away the tests there, the few hundred tests before New Year's. You know, there might be more of that. So
so there's some more rules or you know, explanations have come down on what ARPA towns can use ARPA money for, how much is is available. They're talking, you know, we know that that the first round was around 796. They're talking that the next round will be around 800. You know, and then how much will the town be willing of that they'll be willing to apply to the sewer main, force main. And they've also, you know, they've expanded some of the things that can be used. So other town entities will probably want to partake if they qualify. The other point is that what will come, you know, will there be more? If they pass any kind of additional infrastructure act that we can apply to this, we will have essentially 2 years of billing that we can, you know, apply, you know, that we might need to consider to apply more water sewer retained earnings towards this. And then, you know, how much of an additional rate increase do we need, or if we need one at all? I mean, our original calculation was based on the entire amount of 14.5 million, and that we were going to pay it all, the entire bit of that, through sewer funds, and we knew that we had to increase by $3 per 100 for that. We've reduced, you know, to around 12. We're going to be applying some ARPA funding. So maybe, you know, maybe it won't be so bad. It's even, you know, I mean, the best case scenario is that we won't have to raise rates again.
Okay. Yeah, we'll see how that plays out. Obviously, that's probably a couple of years down the road. But as far as everything is going through, so as far as starting the project, and if, you know, we give them a notice to proceed in January, my guess is they're going to be submitting an estimate at the end of January. We'll be able to pay the contractor. All that's moving. This is just some other documents. That's my understanding, kind of from some of the phone calls and emails that I've seen. That
essentially, don't, you know, but we have a 1.5 of our own right available now.
Yeah,
yeah,
that can give that as well.
That can start funding things.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, just the phone call we had weeks ago and some other discussions that, you know, it's all going forward, because we all know the ARPA is, nobody knows, you know, but at least
right.
you know, the contractor is going to be able to make you know, monthly pay estimates, and we'll be able to pay those, you know, from the fund. So
and we have a Zoom meeting, Environmental Partners, and we have a Zoom meeting with them, I believe, on Thursday.
Okay. Oh, that's right. Yep. Okay. Anything else in force main?
You know, not you know, other than waiting for them. No, nothing new as far as.
So DPW, the only item I want to add, I forgot to mention before. So the $1.1 million article that's coming up at the end of January, early February town meeting. Some of those monies will be coming out of sewer water enterprise. I don't know the exact figures yet. I'll talk to Lincoln a little bit about that. But we are going to put up some of those monies to fund that 1.1, and it's going to come from a few different sources. I think they're still trying to figure out, but some of that will come from water sewer enterprise account. So, but not all of it. Which, you know, it's the cost of the project, which we, you know, have always said along that we want to use the enterprise account, you know, for the building. And complete streets, Bruce, I think we pretty much done. We closed out, 100% paid, inspected, done. Bruce, if you're talking, you're on mute.
Oh, I was talking to myself for a couple seconds there. Yeah, that's all set. Completely done. There's nothing saying that, you know, once we get through, you know, this other project that we can't, you know, go ahead and apply again. I think the next thing that I really have to do is get in the pipeline for the TIPS program and go for that major East End corridor project. So I think that would be the next thing I try to dive into and get rolling. And that's going to take, you know, 5-6 years if we even got the funding. So.
Yep. Yeah, that's the whole South Ave, right? South Franklin. So we talk about.
Yep. South Ave sidewalks, reconfiguring that whole block around that old fire station. And I think it even included, sidewalks up on Plymouth Street. So it was a really big job.
All right. But Amy, I'd be fine with taking complete streets off the agenda. I think at this point that project is done, so I don't think we need to keep carrying it in old business. We'll keep the shared streets on there to talk about the town center stuff.
Okay.
All we had on the agenda, is there anything either Ken or Dave that you wanted to discuss?
On my end.
I'm good too. Thank you.
Okay. I guess I'll take this opportunity to Zoom because I'm assuming it's going to be broadcast. That the DPW board is looking. We do have an open position for the May town meeting, so I would encourage anybody that wants to get involved or be a member of the DPW commissioners to get their papers from. I think they're available towards the end of the month or beginning of February, and go for be elected to the board.
Good point.
Thank you.
On that note, I'll move forward on, trying to get another candidate to bring in for an interview.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. If you want to post. Yep. And then if we can, if you got some candidates, we could do interviews at the next meeting. I'm cautiously optimistic that we can be back in person next meeting, but we'll see. And look at that segue. The date so the next meeting would be February 8th. I'm doing my math right.
Yes. Okay, that sounds good.
You're gonna post that job internally for us too, right?
Yes.
The truck, yes.
Hey, Bruce, what department would that be? You'd be looking for a new candidate for that water and sewer or pocket tree?
Highway.
That's a highway division.
Highway, okay,
Highway.
highway.
Yeah, we'll post the normal post internally and go from there. All right. Anything else? I guess we'll entertain a motion to adjourn if that's all we got.
Make a motion that we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Ken?
Yes.
Yes.